So a few people have asked to see how I automate my children's medicine dosages using Home Assistant, and this is basically how I do it. So we have these entities. So first one is the date of birth, the child's date of birth. This is used to calculate the quantity which they can have, and the weight, the sort of minimum wait period between each dose. And then we have this other input, date time input, which is the last time it was taken, basically, and that will then inform template sensors, which I'll show next, when to do the taken and next due times. So the first one to show you is calculating the quantity which the you can take, or a child can take. So what it does is it takes in the date of birth, and essentially, based on the back of the bottle, it takes date of birth and the current time and figures out how old that child is. Basically, if it's for, I think this is for paracetamol, yeah. So for less than 6 months old, they can only have 2.5 ml, and then between 6 months to 24 months, it's 5 ml. Between 2 years and 4 years, it's 7.5 ml, and then anything older than 4 years, it's 10 ml. So this calculates the quantity of a particular dose. And then we have this one, then the next one. So what this does is this will take the date of birth again, and essentially this calculates the length of wait that you have to have between each dosage, basically. So I think it's typically every 4 hours, but if they're less than 6 months old, as you can see here, the hours wait is 6. So essentially all that does is work that out. Essentially, if it's if the child is less than 6 months, it will add on 6 hours to this input date time, which is when they took it, or 4 hours if they're more than 6 months old. And then the times. So this will essentially form the information. This is the culmination of all of this information, and I'll piece it together in an automation in a sec. But this will basically take the quantity, which is the dose, so 5 ml or whatever, how long, when it was taken, and essentially when they're due another one. And then if they're overdue, it will say that they're overdue and what quantity they can have. So at the minute, as you can see, it says overdue and 7.5 milliliters. So then there is, this will listen to a button press, and when the button is pressed, it will essentially just update that input date time to the current time. And that essentially looks like this. So at the minute the child is overdue, I could have 7.5 milliliters. If we press this button, and there we have it. And that will say, that will basically change at 1943, for instance. That will then just change back to overdue and whatever the amount is. And so if you change the child's date of birth, it will change the dosage. The only thing this doesn't account for is there are some medicines like paracetamol where you aren't supposed to give more than 4 in 24 hours. Also, really important, I'm not a doctor, so don't listen to me in terms of what you're supposed to give your children with medicine. Read the bottle, read the label, talk to a doctor or a medical professional. Don't listen to me. This is literally just a tutorial for an automation.